gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and bliss to his son, Siakim, pushing his truth all over the world. Shalom, keep pushing. But we're gonna get into this article. It says Russia's war is stoking mass famine and could cause global catastrophe. World Bank boss warns. The world was warned last night that it's facing a human catastrophe as Vladimir Putin stokes a global famine. World Bank President David Malpass said the record rises in food costs triggered by Russia's invasion of Ukraine could push hundreds of millions of people into malnutrition and poverty. His warning came as Ireland accused Putin of using military tactics to engineer worldwide food crisis on top of a massive wave of refugees and soaring energy costs. The war between Russia and Ukraine, which together export more than a quarter of the world's wheat, has sent prices soaring. The U.S. World Bank, which provides loans and grants to low and middle income countries for capital, calculates there should be a staggering 37% rise in food costs. It said the effect will be magnified for the poor, who will have to eat less and will be left with little money for anything else. Especially so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, magnified for the poor. Who's the poorest, in the world? The tribes, the 12 tribes. And it says African countries who rely heavily on Russian and Ukrainian grain exports will be hardest hit, according to Germany's Kiel Institute for the World Economy. Mr. Malpass says it's a human catastrophe, meaning nutrition goes down, but then it also becomes a political challenge for governments who can't do anything about it. They didn't cause it, and they're seeing the prices going up, which is a lie. We already know you so-called white people are lying, who are the Edomites. You could stop this if you wanted to, but that's not in the plan. What is in the plan is the great restart that Cotton Schwab keeps talking about. All this is going to lead to a famine, where they're trying to get you to eat this synthetic beef that Billy Jean keeps pushing. He keeps pushing the synthetic beef, all these GMO plants and crops, and he bought all this farmland. But ultimately, the end game, is to get that karagma put in you. That's what it boils down to. To starve you out until you submit. And say, hey, I'm gonna get this thing in my hand or my forehead, so I can eat again. It says on soaring prices, Mr. Malpass told the BBC it's affecting food of all different kinds, oils, grains, and then it gets into other crops, corn crops, because they go up when wheat goes up. He said global stockpiles are large by historic standards, but there will have to be a sharing for sales process to get the food to where it's needed most. He stressed the focus needed to be in increasing supplies across the world for fertilizers and food along assistance for the poorest people. The World Bank chief also warned of a crisis within a crisis arising from the inability for developing countries to service large debts amid sharply rising food and energy prices. He was speaking days after the head of the United Nations World Food Program warned of a dire food crisis. Chief Executive David Beasley said the shortage in food caused by war could lead to catastrophe on top of catastrophe. Meanwhile, Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin said Putin was intent on causing huge international instability around food by deliberately targeting grain silos. And there they go with the bad guy, good guy role. The NWO, the Wicked Elite, they gotta have a good guy, bad guy. you know, going on, man, just to try to cover up their tracks. So the new boogeyman right now is Putin. You know, he was the man of the Lord for a bit. It was the Trumpers. You know, it was the Towhead, the Ishmaelites. In them caves and stuff. They was the boogeyman. And then Jake as a whole. The so-called Negroes, they was the boogeyman. So now Putin is the boogeyman of the year right now. So now they blaming him for everything when they all are in it on it together. They all Freemasons. You know, they all sit around and drink blood, go to these satanic orgies and things of this sort. But it's just talking about. I'm gonna finish it up here in this article here. But this poverty is gonna hit Jake, you so-called Negro Latinos or Native Americans, especially so-called Negroes here in the U.S., United States. It says he was speaking after being briefed by Ukraine's Prime Minister Denis Shamel during an hour-long meeting on a stopover on his way to Washington this week. Mr. Moore said that Putin wanted to create a major food crisis as part of his crimes against humanity. He added that he and Mr. Shamhal had discussed how the Kremlin was trying to bomb people out of Ukraine by creating so much terror they had no choice but to flee. You know, like I was saying, this is all staged. The world is one big stage, and it's all being orchestrated ultimately by the Most High. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But on a low level that you peons can get is that Putin and the wicked elite. I don't know if you can even get this. This might be even too high for you. But the wicked elite, the cabal, the evil cabal that runs the world, like your Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and all that, they orchestrating this war to bring in that NW0 that they want. They've been talking about so much. And and they're right on track. They actually got the ball rolling, and they using Putin as a tool to do it. So if these governments, these so-called good guy governments wanted to stop Putin, they could have been stopped him. So but this is all a farce. But I just wanted to bring it out though that hey, the famine is coming, and it's beginning right before your eyes, and we're gonna get some precepts on it. I hope you was able to hear, because the minute I wanted to do a video, Jake pulls up with a garbage truck. It never fails. Every time you want to do a video, demons come out of woodwork. But let's see if I can get some precepts here. We're gonna go to second address 16 and 22. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." So yeah, you may get away from the famine, the worldwide famine that's coming, from surviving eating, man's flesh, things of that sort, or, whatever you could be able to eat in them days from the lack of food. You may be able to get away from that famine, but, you wicked people, you other nations, and you wicked Israelites, you will not escape the sword, though. It says, shall the sword destroy. You're going to be destroyed in these streets, Jake. By the sword, whether it's, the guns, from the, martial law, from the food, the rioting that's going to go on, Jacob's trouble. You're going to be mowed down in these streets, But ultimately, that glittering sword is going to lay you out. It's going to turn you into ashes. So keep having a great old time in the US of A, Jake, because your days are numbered. And we're in that season. This is the season of no turning back right now. Whatever you've been doing, you choose not to turn back to your power. You got to stand on that because it's about to get real bumpy here real soon. This summer, they projecting, even as late as November, October, November, about hardly having any food out here, or it's going to be rationed if it is some. But the men of the Lord and the men and women who choose to turn back to their power and they know who their master is, he's going to take care of us. Lord willing, I'm of that number, that 144,000, that, hey, the only thing we got to do is just sit back and watch these people kill each other, fight over a pack of noodles, blow their brains out. Somebody get their, brain blown out over a pack of hot dogs, man. So, Lord willing, we better sit back from a safe distance and just laugh, and enjoy our food and our wine and our water or whatever, the Most High give us in that day. We're going to get another precept here. We're going to go to the book of Romans. Let's see. Let's go to Romans 8:35. It says, who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? No. None of this is going to separate the true followers, of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man, of Yahushua. None of this, the sword, the persecution, the tribulation, the famine, none is going to separate us, have us to go back and, say, you know what, we're going to just go back into the world because there's a great famine all over the world. We're going to go back. No, we're going to hang on to, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua even tighter. Because he said, hey, believe in him and he will help thee. So we're gonna stand on that. And we're gonna wait for him to perform those miracles. The man of the Lord, 140 the elect and the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, you're gonna see some miracles in that day. We see them all the time, here and there, brothers have different accounts, and you've witnessed miracles yourself, and I have myself. But we're gonna really see the Lord. We're gonna actually see Yahweh Shah, going to bat for us. Having that raven bringing you food, or that crow bringing you food, or you stumbling upon where Esau and got hauled off into a camp or something, or a wicked Jake lived next door to you got hauled off into a FEMA camp, and he got pantries stacked up full of food that he didn't get a chance to eat. We're gonna see some great things that's coming up with all this tribulation that's coming, So, but none of that's gonna turn us the sword. Definitely not gonna turn us away from, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep watching and praying because we are in those times. This is the part where you, how you watch a movie. You start off with your popcorn and your, whatever you got to drink. But we in the second part now where we in the, it's the movie's about to get real good now. So this is where you go and refill on your whatever you was drinking. You get a bathroom break, or you get some more popcorn, and get ready to finish the movie out. And this is where we are right now. So all you people thought we was joking and laughing and just making things up, you about to see, because this famine and the pestilences and all this is hitting again. And and you people won't escape. And when I'm talking about you people, I'm talking about you Israelites. Because Jacob's trouble is right around the corner. So hey, I hope this video was edifying and to the sense so y'all can, man, keep pushing. Shalom.